It's happened, it's here, it's this one. Guys, my name is Richard Bellers. I am a magician that fooled Penn Teller back in 2011. I'm doing a series on my YouTube channel called Fooler Reacts to Penn Teller Foolers. So I'm going to be looking at every single one of the 61 foolers that have fooled Penn Teller over the 5 seasons and the pilot. We're on episode 5, which means it's my turn, which is a really weird thing to do, but I was the 5th person to fool Penn Teller. So we'll be looking at my performance now. I'm just going to talk about as much as I can remember about the act and bits that I haven't mentioned in my reveal video. If you want to see how this trick is done, I have a video on my channel called How I Fooled Penn Teller Method Reveal. I'll leave the link in the bio, in the description below. I'm thinking of Instagram. You'll notice that I'm very much not editing this. Now this is because this is a streaming setup. I'm doing these in a one take videos. There'll be no editing, no retakes. If there's a mistake, it stays in. The reason I'm doing this is that Penn Teller had to watch the effects once live, and that was that, and then they had to try and figure it out. So I'm trying to put myself under a little bit of pressure in the same way that they were. At the end of each of these videos, I will be doing a trick live, so there'll be no edit if it goes wrong. If it goes wrong, you just see the flash or you see the method. Is my bad. So far, the first 4 have gone okay. I'm trying to make the tricks sort of match what's going on in the video that we're watching. So let's have a look now at this. This is my video here. Now, it's been watched by most people who are on the channel, so sorry to make you sit through this. I'll try and talk about stuff that has not been spoken about on this video already, because I've spoken about this video a lot. Okay.
Thank you and welcome back to Fool Us, and it's time for us to meet our next magician.
Richard Bellers.
Hi, I'm Richard. Hi, I'm Richard Bellers. The weird thing about this, they didn't ever show anyone the VTs before they went out, so you never saw the VT, and I was sitting backstage waiting to go on. I think I was a couple ahead, so Piff hadn't been on yet, because I filmed this just after Piff finished with his set. So and they pulled me into a room and said, look, we want to show you the VT so you can see what they see before you go out. And I was like, why are you showing me this? But it turns out, because they put on there at the end, I'll show you, this time I will fool Penn Teller. They were just checking that I was okay with it. Not that I really had any time to re-edit it, but which made me double nervous because, well, yeah.
Bellers, I've been doing magic for 22 years. The type of magic I perform is a mixture of either close-up, sleight of hand, or mind control. If you can imagine the Artful Dodger learned how to do magic, that's pretty much my style. Last month on the show, I got Roy.
Now this clip is like hidden on YouTube. I don't ever want him to look at that. As much hair as I had, it was just crap.
Really busted, mainly because I used an off-the-shelf trick. I was cheeky, I had a bit of fun.
Oddly, I use that trick all the time now on my stage check, because I've actually managed to frame it and put it into an effect with a routine, and it all makes sense. Back then, yikes.
First of all, the whole study of psychology and implanting thoughts in people's heads is bullshit.
This time it will be different. I'm going to bring the best I've got to the table. I came up with the idea for this routine in a dream I had, and this time I will fool Penn Teller.
So when I saw that, this time I will fool, I was like, can you take that out? That's ridiculous. You might not fool them. I'm like a right idiot. And they said, no, we think you're going to fool them. So we'll put that in. I was like, pressure. Speaking of pressure.
To try and fool Penn and Teller once is brave. To come back and try and do it again is verging on insanity. So please welcome the very nearly mad Richard Bellers.
My dad said to me, if I'd failed to fool him again, then the very nearly man may well have stuck as my nickname for the rest of my life. So that walkout, just very, I'm not going to stop this whole way, this will be a 40-minute video, but literally, the 2 times I've been on Fool Us, both times I followed a guy called John who had just blown the house away. So the first time I was on in the actual filming order, I came out after John Archer had just done his amazing set. And if you haven't seen the video of me reacting to John Archer, go and have a look at that. So I followed him out with a Svengali deck, got destroyed. Get to this one, and I'm backstage miking up, and there's some geezer called Biff the Magic Dragon, real name John Vanderput, so another John, and he obviously blows the room apart, not like in a good warm-up act way, in a kind of still the show from everyone else way. So I'm now thinking, oh god, I've got to follow out another very, very good comedic performance by somebody called John. So I was properly pooing myself because Piff had just destroyed everyone just before I came out.
It was quite clear last time we met, you burnt me pretty bad. And I deserved it, I didn't try hard enough. And it haunted me for a while until I had a dream of a routine that I could do to you guys should we meet again. And so clear was a dream that I went out and placed a bet on the outcome. And that's where this case comes in. Teller, would you mind looking after this for me? Placing it on your chair. And could you both join me up on stage? That'd be great. Give him a hand, guys. Penn Teller.
Now, I talked about my last video with Matthew Beecher that he was just kind of going through the motions of the pick a card. Is it red? Is it black? Is it high? Is it low? Is it diamonds? Is it hearts? This is exactly what I'm doing. I don't have anywhere near, at this point in my career, the stage presence of someone like John Archer, someone who can go out there and just be funny and be amazing. I wrote these this script down on a couple of like little cards, and I wrote them down, and I was trying to memorize it, but I don't do memorizing scripts, so I was really struggling to. Bear in mind, I'd only ever performed this trick once. It was in the rehearsal of this, and I got it wrong. So this is like all new territory. This is like the first time I've ever done this trick.
Good to see you. Yeah. Come on this side, you're good.
On this side,
On this side, how are you? And also I'll need Jonathan as our referee. The dream basically raised one question, which was...
I forgot to mention, I
went to do...
I got them stood either side of me like this, so I got Jonathan as a referee and these two, because I knew that it would make a really good picture to look at, you know, if I was to get some stills and stuff. So that's why I got all three of us on stage together.
We know you work perfectly as a team. I want to know who's the actual talent. So I devised a couple of challenges.
And this I annoyed myself in this. I was away very quick and then let this play on a little bit. I pride myself on being able to ad-lib. If you see me do my stage shows where I'm actually working corporate, I love ad-lib, and I love when people say stuff, I can respond, and in this I am just stilted with what I respond. And luckily for me, Jonathan Ross steps in with gag after gag to keep it flowing, because I really was nervous because I'd never done this trick, and like I say, the first one I done it, I got it wrong.
I'm hoping one of them is wrestling.
I can change it. So the first challenge is darts. Have you played before?
I've thrown darts, but
Yeah. Okay, well, come on over, Jonathan.
Now you'll see that I talk over Penn. That was I was sort of nervous, obviously, and I wanted to get on with things, but also Penn had destroyed me in the first one. Just basically, this is your method. What you said is bullshit. Get off the stage. I mean, that's essentially what he did. So I wasn't a massive fan of Penn's anyway. Love his work, but yeah, just in terms of how he beat me up on the first one. So I tended to talk over him every time he tried to talk, which probably wasn't the best move.
You stand here. Come on over, guys. What we have, circular board, 62 different sections to score in. Outer rings double, inner rings treble, the bullseye's worth 50 and so on. You're going to get 3 darts each. Highest score wins. You're going to go first.
Okay.
So those are your darts.
Okay.
As we say in darts, it's game on. Jonathan will keep score. Good luck.
Going for the high score, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I should tell you after what I'm going for.
Now that little line there, I didn't pick up at the time because I was very nervous, but he's obviously saying in a confabulation routine, which I know this is, that's what he's doing. He says, I know this is a confabulation routine. You're going to get us to do stuff, you're going to have it written down. So when he says, maybe I should tell you afterwards what I'm going for, that is what he's saying. After I know what the result is, I'll tell you what I was going for. So it's his little, you see how we're like digging at each other? That's his little moment saying, I know this is a confabulation routine. I wish I'd said, crack on, you know, or I'd put if I really like, you know, when you come back and think, oh, well, I should have said something to do with shoes, you know, or step on it, or like just, you know, step on it and get on with things, or something. I should have just told him the method then, and then still got on with it. Would have been perfect.
1, good.
I was going for
I'm waiting for you, Teller. It's all about Teller.
Talk over him again. It's not a great relationship, is it?
1.
That's 14, so you got 15.
15. Oh,
and that is in the. Is that what's that? Is that 19?
Yes.
So that's 4.
24. Give it a hand. 24. Well done.
You see how not impressive and interesting this part is? Oh God! If this was someone else's routine, I'd be tearing them apart. Like, John Archer makes everything interesting. I hate this bit of the routine.
Good luck. Are we good? Okay, 34 to beat. You can do it with one dart if you're good enough.
Finding
No pressure.
a bit of rhythm.
Okay, that's on the board.
You're playing American rules. Is that
Saving me again.
oh,
treble.
just outside the triple 13.
Got to get a double or a treble. Or a ball.
Another 13, 26.
26. Give him a hand, guys. That's a great score. First round. Yes!
And yet, Penn is such a professional that he, yes, and makes the thing exciting, because essentially it's very, very dull. So thank you to Penn for that. Thank you for Jonathan for keeping this very boring process going.
The second game is more about using your mind, so really it should be more up your street. No offence.
Oh, what? Look at Penn's face. Look at Penn's face. Are you mugging me off, you little prick? That's what he's saying. Teller's like, I can't believe he just said that. That's one of those jokes that I just thought up on the spot, and I wish I hadn't. Oh, look at the face. Look at the face. He's like, I'm going to bust this little bitch. I'm going to bust him.
A really weird edition of the Generation Game, isn't it?
We hope so. We'll come over to challenge 2, guys, which is
Yeah,
over here.
so-
I don't know which one you stand. Do you?
Now, this edit, you'll see, I don't know which way you stand. It was, I got their names wrong, not because I didn't get their names wrong, but I meant they stand, like Ant and Dec always stand, so that you see Ant and Dec, like in the order of their names, and Penn and Teller always stand, so you see Penn and Teller. It's a natural thing for double acts to do, and I just got it all mixed up. I Teller and Penn, or whatever I called them, Ten and Pella, I just got it all, blah, blah, blah. Luckily they cut it out. But Penn thinks I forgot their name, which looks like another disrespect after I've just said that Teller's smarter than he is and blah, blah, blah. So Penn, I think, at this point, just thinks I'm a complete bellend.
Stand on particular sides, but Penn on this side, Teller on this side. What you have, you've got to think, you've got 20 seconds to think of a 6-letter word. Then take the letters and pop it up on there.
A 6-letter word.
6 letters.
Now, I said 6-letter word as well, by the way, because I in the spiel that I put, which they cut out, I said, I've asked you to do a 6-letter word, so you can't write the word bullshit, because I'm not having to do that again. So that was another thing I said to Penn, but they cut it out, obviously, because I said the word bullshit, but that's why it was a 6-letter word.
The word. Take your time, but the audience are going to decide who's his best by cheering the loudest. Okay, so that's down
20
to them.
seconds.
20 seconds starting from now. Go. And I have no idea what word they're going to go for, and you're going to be the judge.
So I'll
Who's
judge
loudest?
from
So-
the cheers
Yes.
as to which word you think is the best. That's looking good. Penn, no cheating.
Penn is dyslexic, didn't realise, so he wrote house and then went 6-letter word. Needs another letter, so he put housey.
That's housey.
Which made the effect better.
Who thinks toilet is the better word?
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of love for toilet in the room.
In the
Who
room.
likes housey better? It's toilet all the way.
Yes. Well, yeah, give me a hand. Who won that round? It's your Teller.
See, now I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, right?
Guys.
You'll see, and I mean, whoever this guy is, looks like he's getting nervous, like the move is about to come. I'm starting to give it a little bit of deep breaths now, because I know the move's coming. So this is the bit that went wrong in the rehearsal.
I'll tell you if you join me here. Penn, if you can stand here for me. There was a winner in my dream, so we've got to decide this, who's going to be our champion. So we'll do it how grown men should. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Ready?
you've got to put your hand behind...
How has Teller never heard of rock, paper, scissors? I'm so surprised by the fact he's not heard of rock, paper, scissors. I call it paper, scissors, rock or something. I start saying it backwards. I'm just so, like, dumbfounded that he's never heard of it.
Your back. You've got to either do scissors, rock,
Scissors,
or
rock,
paper.
paper. What am I talking about?
Scissors.
On 3, not after 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Now that went on 4 minutes. That was not 4 minutes, as in for minutes that went on. I walk away. It turns out this was the best red herring ever to all the people that watched this. But they did this like 9, 10, 11 times, just over and over and over the same. And I think what Penn was trying to do was to signal to Teller, like, to do this or to do this, but Teller kept copying him, and it was obviously Penn was trying to make Teller win, which was again, Penn is actually a much nicer man than I imagined he was, but I acted like a bit of a dick on the stage to him.
1, 2, 3. So Teller wins paper over rock.
Paper wins rock, beats rock every time.
Teller is our winner.
Teller hasn't got a clue what's just happened. He's won, but doesn't know how.
His face, like purposely placed there. What we did was to have a prediction, which you couldn't see the whole way through, but were you guys watching? No one went over there and so on? Okay, would you mind bringing that prediction up to the table? And one more time, can you give it up for Teller?
Can you give it up? Can you see how much I'm breathing, how heavy I'm breathing? I'm looking down at this exact point thinking, the move's coming. So if I'm reacting to this as I've been reacting to the others, I'd say the performance was very much a stilted, get the random things made. It wasn't funny enough. It was just okay. At this point, I'm like, it's okay. If I was reacting to this like a normal thing, this bit is very dull. The procedure bit's long, and there wasn't the comedy in there that it should have been. Is how I'd react to that. But coming up is the business end of the trick, where I've got to cover the noise that was made during rehearsal, and I've never done it. It's just a theory I had in my head. So let's see how we get on.
Our winner. Hold on here for me. Perfect. Could you please click those open for me? I don't want to touch the locks. Inside here is something that you'll need.
Now, what you'll see, this is very similar to when John Archer did his. This is my litmus test for the whole thing. So much John Archer, but when John Archer did one joke, I didn't see a name in the script too much. Everyone laughed, everyone applauded. He relaxed into it. It took him 2 minutes. I am like 15 minutes into this trick. And I've now done the move, and I now can relax into this performance. I mean, he relaxes into this performance.
A second. Pick that up for me.
Oh, I don't like where this is heading. Well, if he's managed to get it up there, he is a magician.
So Teller, as I was saying to Teller, would you mind sitting down? He's thinking he's getting me to turn around and walk back. He's going to do the move. So I'm full on like, actually, this is the fairest bit ever. So I'm holding my hands up. That's the reason my hands have been held up there. Because it is fair at this point. Jonathan Ross is making the jokes that I was about to make, so he did steal the light on that one.
No, I did keep it in a very safe place, so I'll just...
Would you like me to put on a German accent?
I'll be honest, a little bit. No, here's the idea. I kept it in my shoe, and I was a bit nervous, I was a bit sweaty. I want you to go in after it.
Okay.
Okay, so let everyone see. I'm going to just take this off very fairly. If you could... There. Just pick that up and show them the laces, and they can see inside. Tip it up the other way.
Oh, man.
Inside there is a piece of paper.
There is.
And I want you to be very fair when you open that.
I have in my hands a piece of paper.
No funny biz.
Okay.
I've not mentioned before, but the gloves obviously were to open the thing up, but it was also a misdirection. It was also playing homage to their fish trick that they did on the pilot, where they got the glove out and said the phone ends up in all sorts of weird places, we'll bring it. So that was a homage to their fish trick on the one where they battered me. Where they battered me.
Right,
I kind of predicted what would happen if you guys played darts, if you guys did some words. The dart score, what did we get?
Okay, I'm going to fold it over for maximum
okay, sure.
suspense. If you can see that there, it says darts. Penn scores 34, Teller scores 26.
Thank you very much. And over here we have 2 words. It was Penn's words. What was your word on this?
If I move down, it says words. Penn's word, housey.
Housey.
Teller's word,
toilet.
toilet.
Thank you. But then it was a draw, so we had to do paper, rock, scissors, and Teller on the tie break.
It's at the bottom. Teller wins.
I guess dreams do come true. I'll collect my winnings. Thank you very much.
Oh my God! So yeah, as a reaction, very, very still. That whole routine was made for one reason. Obviously, that was to fool them, and I wish I'd gone on with more rehearsal, more practice, but as you know, the story goes, I made it up very, very shortly before the actual program. So I actually cringe quite a lot watching that back. My reaction to it would be a very stilted performance, lovely method, but essentially running through the motions with no real personality to get to the part where you fool them. So I'm not overly impressed with the presentation. The effects lovely, but certainly not one of my favourite fools.
Come on the front here. Sure. I'm hoping some people who weren't Magic fans maybe tuned in, saw some darts, thought great darts, I'm going to stay for that. How confident are you? Do you think you fooled them?
I think I've done all I can. Whether I have or not is up to them.
Okay,
But I couldn't have done it any better.
Penn, don't
Couldn't
just
have done it
ignore
any
me, I'm
better.
not going on.
I couldn't have done it any better. Oh, I could have done it a hell of a lot better. So I was just pleased to have got through it, I think. I couldn't have done it better with the amount of time I had. I think is more to the point of what I was trying to say.
We got work to do.
You've got to, no, you've got
This
to
was
talk
hard.
about-
We were on stage
It's
during
hard, that's the whole point. It's meant to be hard. Come on, eyes front. Teller's still thinking, either that or he's got some wind. Guys, that's enough time, guys. I'm going to have to push it.
What we had, the reason it took so long is because we're having trouble. And we are not by any means sure how it's done. I believe you wrote the prediction yourself. And I believe you used some variation on a little thing that allows you to write in your hand secretly. And I think you're really, really good at it. Teller thinks you couldn't possibly be that at using that gimmick. We both believe that the prediction went from your right pocket down your leg and loaded into the shoe.
I did not write it, I'll be honest about that. But I also did not cop it, and I did not use my pocket at all.
Did not you?
I had so many magicians saying, why did you say you did not write it? You didn't need to say that. You just needed to say you didn't touch it, it didn't get down your leg. There were so many bits they got wrong that you could have held on to, that you could have just... James Brown, loads of people phoned me up and said, why did you say that? And I don't know why I said it. I was just so pleased I got it right. I wasn't really thinking straight. And, you know, I should have edited out this edit, to be honest, but yeah, it was a mistake saying I didn't write it myself, because that gave away too much.
Use your pocket at all.
It never went down his leg.
Then you, sir, even more than we thought, have fooled us.
Yes!
There's my brother. So that's my two brothers there. Gary, who does the music on the Sunday, and that's Mark, my older brother. A good friend of mine, Charlie Phelan, as well. He is does magic. He's chefs. He snowboards and all sorts of great stuff. So yeah, really, really cool to have those guys come along and watch it.
You know what, Richard? Wouldn't it be awful if this was just another dream and you
And listen, this is the cool bit.
Richard Bellas.
Do you hear that bass of the table? He actually says on the way back some of the methods, so they did start to figure it out, but they did not get anywhere near the fact it was going up through the shoe. So yeah, very, very, very cool time. But looking back at it, if I'm being brutally honest about the performance was very subpar. The effect worked wonderfully. The way it was laid out got lots of interest from people trying to guess how it was done, because there were so many sort of red herrings on the stage. But you know, as a reaction, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Done the job. Certainly not a polished act in any way, shape or form, but it had a cool story behind it, as we know. So yeah, it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. It was weird watching that again, but I've spoken so much about it on the channel, I didn't want to go too far into it, and yet we're already 25 minutes into this video. So what I've decided to do for the ending trick is a trick some people have seen me do on Instagram recently in a couple of lives, but I wanted to put a different spin onto the ending, because I like with my magic to try and just make it my own a little bit. So I've taken a trick that you guys have seen me do, and I've just tweaked the ending of it just to make it look a little bit more pretty, and hopefully that will show you guys how my sort of thought process works. So let's have a look at that trick. We normally do this to a couple of people. I don't know the people here, so I'm going to just go through this selection process as if people were here. It is random. It's just a deck of cards, but that is not in focus. But so if I was to have someone deal some cards down, and they can just stop wherever they like, so they would be holding the cards, and they stop on a card. All right, so they get a card chosen. Then you give the deck to somebody else, and they then deal down to wherever they want to do. So let's say they stop here. Okay. So the deck is put aside. The cards are shown. I'm going to switch back to this camera, I think, so you guys can see. It's very bright, but we've got 6 of clubs and a 3 of spades chosen. Okay, I'm going to come down to this camera so you can see. I'm going to keep flipping this back so you got the best view of this. 6 of clubs, 3 of spades chosen. Now they get put back in the deck nice and fairly. So you take the 3, and that'll go in, and it really does go in nice and fairly in the deck. And the 6, which I think is Dan's card, you pop that in nice and fairly as well. Now what I wanted to show you, I'm going to leave these on the table, I'm going to come back up to this one, the hands are here, is how I wanted to make this, to find the 6 and the 3, I wanted to make it really really nice. So what I was going to do was to use my hoodie, reach all the way through, take the cards, and as they come out the other end, you'll see there's only 2 cards in my hand, which I think is a really pretty way of doing it. And you've got, oh god, these cameras again, let's go down. This light is a really bad summer day, but you do get Dan's 6 of clubs and the 3 of spades from the deck. But just doing it through here, I thought was a really nice little touch. So hopefully that trick is kind of cool. It wasn't too stilted. I wasn't going to perform it. I just wanted to show you kind of a way that I like to think about how to present the tricks and change it up. I think going through with the deck and coming out with 2 is a really, really nice little touch to the trick. Yes, so there we are. It's been a very embarrassing half hour looking at my own trick. So I'm going to get this one done and finished. Please add the Patreon pledge of $1, and if you can pledge that amount and join the RB community, it will help the channel out, and you'll get an exclusive video every week, plus a tutorial every month, plus access to Discord, where we've got a whole community full of magicians who are just wonderfully supportive, creative and friendly. So hopefully you can see you there. The link is in the description. I will see you tomorrow to look at Nick Einhorn for the crap. Penn Teller, one of my favourites. I'll see you tomorrow. Big love, guys.